murder a liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder a revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Art of Political Discourse. Let's get right to it. The United States and Israel has attacked Iran. February 28, 2026, military strikes on Iran, dubbed as Operation Epic Fury by the U.S. and conducted jointly with Israel, were caused by a confluence of factors aimed at dismantling the Iranian regime, security apparatus, and nuclear program. Key reasons for the attack included eliminating nuclear threats. President Trump stated that the operation was designed to prevent Iran from creating a nuclear weapon targeting facilities and infrastructure. This followed the failure of recent indirect negotiations to contain Iran's nuclear program ambitions, providing imminent threats. The strike targeted Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, command centers, air defenses, and missile drone launch sites to neutralize what U.S. officials described as imminent threats to American interests. The key factors include regional instability and proxies. Israel described the action as a necessary move to eliminate an existential threat and remove the regime's influence in the region. Also, response to internal dissent following months of intense protests, economic collapse, and violent crackdowns on citizens within Iran, the U.S. aimed to weaken the regime's security apparatus, with President Trump encouraging the Iranian people to take over their government. Also, retaliation against escalation. The strikes came after weeks of rising tensions, including Iran-backed attacks and, according to reports, to punish the regime for its hardline stance following the collapse of diplomatic negotiations. In response to the joint U.S.-Israel attack, Iran launched its own retaliatory missile and drone strikes targeting U.S. military installations in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar. It should also be mentioned that they also attempted to strike Jordan, which was unsuccessful. Now, in light of everything that's going on, most of us, we tend to know there's really more than meets the eye, in terms of these strikes. One of the things I wanted to point out was, again, Iran's nuclear ambition. It's been said, or it's said, quite often enough now, that what's the problem? Why is it okay for the United States and Israel to have nuclear weapons, nuclear power plants, things of that nature, and not Iran? The response has always been, I think will always be, well, you can't trust Iran with nuclear weapons. Why is that? All right. Can you trust the United States with nuclear weapons? We've seen what they are willing to do in terms of using nuclear warfare or warheads against another country. That shouldn't be missed. No one should actually, you should not neglect to remember what the United States government is capable of. That being said, a lot think that Iran having nuclear capabilities would be an equalizer, especially in the region where the Israeli government, it is alleged, wants to take over the whole of the region. That being said, there may be a little validity to that. They say that Iran causes instability, in the region, and it props up, or it uses proxies as a means to attack the Israeli government. Most would say that that is something Israel does. It create stability in the region. Not only that, but it also uses certain proxies to help destabilize not just the Iran government or regime, but other nations in the area. In terms of the internal dissent, the citizens in Iran rising up or wanting to overthrow the government, these actions are orchestrated, most know, by the United States CIA and Israeli Mossad. They infiltrate inside the country, plant individuals there to help foment dissension, cause chaos and riots, problems. Most of this, though, is as the result of the United States sanctions and bans on Iran, which have been um, bans, especially, have been in place for some 60 years nearly. It's no wonder that the Iranian government does not want to toe the queue as far as the United States go in terms of negotiating some type of deal to where they're left vulnerable. I think that's the whole purpose of the United States negotiation along with Israel. Israel, it is known that they consider Iran as a thorn in their side. It's only because Iran is in the region and still maintains its government, and whatever military force or might it has is what has kept Israel from running roughshod or being the bully in the area. Because of Iran, Israel's actions are kind of tempered. That's not to say, I wouldn't attach that or apply that to what's going on in Gaza or Palestine. However, because Iran is there in the region, Israel is more mindful of how they go about doing things. So the thinking is, if Israel is able to remove the Iranian regime, then they have just a free in, a clear road into not just the whole region, but Iran as well. And they will be able to shape that region as they see fit. It's kind of hypocritical of the United States to make such claims about how the government treats the people, so on and so forth, when you have here in the United States a government that disregards the people, not only the people, but their constitutional rights. This government, the Trump administration, disregards law altogether. So that is hypocritical in it, on the face of it. That being said, I have this clip. I want to drop this clip for you people, and it is courtesy of Al Jazeera. But before we do, I'd like to ask you to please like, share, comment, follow, and subscribe to the Art of Political Discourse. Your viewership and participation with this channel enables us to continue to bring to you informative and educational content that more than likely will help you in your life. That being said, let's drop this content. I think it's very imperative that you guys see this and understand what's happening. This is regarding the initial strikes by the U.S. and Israel against Iran. Well, what we do know so far, the news that is coming in is that the attack was two-pronged. In other words, the United States went after military infrastructure, things of that nature, missile launch sites, drones launch sites, things of that nature, army barracks, the IRGC, while Israel went after the leadership of the Iranian regime or government, and that was to decapitate the leadership of Iran and pretty much put the country in a position where there are no leaders to lead the country or to have the will to fight back. From reports we just received, those attempts to a large degree have been unsuccessful. The Ayatollah is in hiding somewhere or in an undisclosed location, and that goes for other higher ups in the Iranian regime. One thing is for sure, um, this is far from over. In retaliation, Iran's retaliation, they struck four different areas in the region: Bahrain, Kuwait, uh, I think it was Qatar, and an attempt to strike at um, Jordan. That strike supposedly was unsuccessful, but we do know, knowing Iran, this is far from over. As we could say the same for United States and Israel, this thing is just starting. Um, the reason for all this, though, is going to come into question, especially from the U.S. side, where there were negotiations supposedly going well. The U.S. was with Israel weeks ago planning to do this in spite of the negotiations. It has also been alleged that the reason why the United States is getting involved in this issue with really between Israel and Iran is because Donald Trump is trying to deflect from what's going on in the Epstein files. It is being uh, alleged that his name is about to come out in ways people did not expect in terms of his activity or his association with Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein files. So Donald Trump is attempting to distract the American public from what's about to land in the United States in terms of these files, with committing an act of war against Iran. And this is something that the United States is very good. They're very adept at that, as well as Israel. They they are able to put before the people other issues of such magnitude that they're able to divert the attention from something that's very important, because it's also alleged that Israeli government officials are also involved or named in the Epstein files. So this is one of those bait and switch type tactics. Okay, they don't want the American public or the world to focus on their involvement with Jeffrey Epstein because it's very explosive. What do? Okay, they create another issue. They they spin narratives. They create circumstances where these circumstances or these issues they bring into effect or into play are of such magnitude that the attention span of the American people more than anyone else is diverted from any guilt Donald Trump may have in terms of the Epstein files to, okay, we're going after Iran because we don't want them to have nuclear weapons. And again, most people think that, okay, well, the world probably be a better place if everyone had a weapon, because in that way or that respect will be given towards sovereignty and the will of a nation to lead its people and country the way it sees fit. It would also, in a lot of our minds, prevent other countries from um, implementing certain propaganda policies, programs that would seek to overtake or overthrow governments. All right. That being said, let's finish this clip because there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot more we want to share with our viewers. I think that message to Israelis as well as Americans and other people from other nationalities or European countries is wise. Iran is known for its missile capabilities. They have very good missiles that can reach Israel or any U.S. base in that region. Um, Again, we're going to expand this coverage. Because there's more here again than meets the eye. And once we get past Iran's retaliatory strikes, I'm pretty sure by then there'll be statements from the US government as well as the Israeli government and also the Iranian government and the world uh, as a whole in general. This is a developing story. No, this was orchestrated and commanded. I think is led by Israel. Most know that the United States does what Israel commands it to do. Why is that? Again, we think, or the thought is that there is so much going on in the Epstein files on so many political figures in this country, as well as corporate world leaders from other nations, that Israel has something on them. So when Israel calls, you you answer. So no doubt that this is something Israel wanted to do or needed to do in order for them to establish themselves even deeper into the region, to make sure that not only is Israel able to expand, but they're able to get rid of certain people and areas, Palestine for one, clear out the West Bank, areas like that, and spread also into areas of Africa. There's a lot going on here, and we plan to get to the bottom of it as best we can. Again, please, we ask the viewers to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the Art of Political Discourse. This um, is the end for this piece. We're going to present more content in a matter of minutes. Part two, so to speak, about what's going on in Iran. And that coverage or that content will coverage the retaliatory strikes by Iran upon military facilities as well as Israel in the region. Um, Till then, take care of yourselves and one another.
You can murder a liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder a revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.